feel like a lot of you guys have definitely changed some things because maybe there's a certain structure in regards to your boundaries that you realize had some gaps, or maybe you don't no longer agree with them. But at the same time, that changing of perspective, a changing of belief system, can definitely make you feel like you don't really know where to go from here. You know, I think the whole process has a lot to do with overthinking the process. Because with the Knight of Pentacles, right? He's really good at being attention to detail, or well, he's detail oriented. He's very slow, but only because he wants to make sure that he's doing the right thing. He's double checking, triple checking, quadruple checking. He's making sure this is absolutely it. You know, he's being very precise, but he's also a very hard worker. But the problem is with the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles regarding that, and then having the Eight of Swords coming up as your underlying energy, tells me that there's a lot of overthinking of the process for me. I get a lot of sense that there's a lot of overthinking, and of course, where you guys have come from does deem it, understandable, right? Like, you guys have gone through some really bad stuff. You've really gone through some really, really intense things with other people, and have experienced a great deal of pain. That should never be taken lightly, but at the same time, this is also being, this energy is also playing a huge role in how it's affecting you in the moment and creating your future. You have a new love coming in here, but instead of like seeing what you've, understanding what's happened here or seeing what happened, because the Ten of Swords is never something like, it's never something like, you don't know what happened. It just imploded in itself. Sometimes it does, but usually it wouldn't show up as the Ten of Swords, right? It's very clear as to what happened. It's very in your face. Either you were betrayed, you were lied to, you were, something just ended and it just wasn't working. And it's like painful. It's devastating, and it's sometimes, a lot of times, unexpected, but you understand what happened. You can see things, right? It's clear. It's clear what's going on, or at least what you've been through was going on. It was pain, it was devastation, and it's something that you don't ever want to feel again. This situation here is causing a ripple effect in your present, because there hasn't been a lot of recovery, and well, there has been a lot of recovery actually. There has been, but the recovery portion where it's going to be tested now is bringing up a new opportunity, and the opportunity is being looked at like, right, I don't know about this. You know what I mean? So I'm going to start with this person on this side. Feel free to pick the side that resonates with you guys the most here, okay? But you guys have here, for this person, it's the Four of Wands. They see themselves, this is relationship as something that's definitely good as it is, good where it is. They've gone through a lot. I don't know if they're ready to expand or not. I feel like this person definitely got to a stable place in this relationship. They got to a place where they're really, they're happy with everything that they've executed. It's presenting a good result. It's gotten to a good foundation for everybody to start moving forward towards a different direction, or at least towards, expanding their foundation, expanding their trust, expanding their, whatever. Moving to the next level. That's what I see the Four of Wands, and this is how this person sees this relationship, an opportunity to move to the next level. Okay. Now the other person showing the Six of Cups. Now I don't know if this person is someone that you had past experience with, which can definitely understand why you guys made. You guys, what brought you two together was despite the ending, you guys found, despite some sort of drastic ending or some sort of painful ending, you guys still found a way to grow and to heal and to recover from something so devastating. But this person sees this as an opportunity to fall in love again. Like, maybe not the same way that they had before, but they have an opportunity to happiness. They have the opportunity to feel happy, right? But this relationship is also plagued by this past as well. Like I was saying before, what brought you two together was the Ten of Swords. That is literally, something happened really badly. It could be betrayal, like I said, and with the Seven of Swords crossing over, that can give me like somebody lied, somebody cheated, somebody did something underhanded. But at the same time, right, this is the past set of energy. Usually the Six of Cups is good memories. It's happy memories. But those happy memories can always, is always surrounded by the Ten of Swords. Will always be surrounded by the Ten of Swords. Like, yes, it was good times, happy times, and times in which, you can have again. Happiness always returns to us, just like, other emotions always return. But this person here is definitely looking at this as a way of rekindling a flame. No, not rekindling a flame. Falling in love again, getting to a place of happiness. But they're defensive, which is showing me this, that they also remember the other parts of their past that wasn't very favorable. Okay, because now they're presenting themselves as the Seven of Wands. Instead of taking what they know from the situation here, they're defending themselves with that information. That's totally fine. Like I said before last week, I think it was for Scorpio actually. I don't know. Are you guys seeing a Scorpio right now? But anyway, for Scorpio, I believe, and don't quote me on that, but I knew somebody this last week. They had the Seven of Wands. I think there were several people that had Seven of Wands. I think it was Aries was one of them too, where they had their guard up. They had their back up, right? They have the higher ground. They had everything that they need to know. They've been through some difficult situations, but their persistence, their vigilance, and their dedication to healing and figuring out solutions that benefit them help them to be able to take an opportunity take the stand that they have, which is knowing what to look out for, putting up healthier boundaries, and getting them to a place where they're on a higher platform, right? This is the Rider-Waite card actually has people below them with 6 wands swinging at the person with one wand that's protecting themselves. And I feel like that everything that person learned, everything that person had, they're trying to maintain, they're trying to protect. A lot of times it's not a bad thing. Sometimes you do need to protect yourself, especially with people that think they can one up someone. You feel like you need to make sure that you've made your placement clear. Sometimes it's important to protect yourself, and I feel like this person right here is protecting themselves very well. But at the same time, protection is maintaining. Maintaining isn't moving. It's very passive. So it's like expecting something to happen. It's preparing for something to happen. Sometimes you have to just defend yourself when you didn't least expect it, and that's okay too. But I feel like this person with the 6 of Cups coming up and their body language is showing the 7 of Wands. That's more of like somebody, like, instead of knowing what they, doing what they, taking the knowledge of what they have and pushing it towards, what they love, they're trying to maintain and protect themselves with it instead. Now, you could do both, but the thing is that this person is solely focusing on protecting, solely focusing on defending. Now, they're wanting to move forward. They're wanting to, take advantage of their platform. Obviously, that means they're ready to use the knowledge that they've learned from the situation from the past here, the 10 of Swords, whatever devastation they've experienced. They're ready to use that to build something of great happiness. They have the 6 of Cups here in their mind plane, but they're looking to defend themselves right now. They're not looking to expand physically. Mentally they are. Physically their body's saying, like, I gotta make sure this I'm safe. I gotta make sure, because whatever happened in the past was so painful. They gotta make sure that it's good. They gotta make sure that they're taken care of. And I feel like they have to show that their boundaries first. They have to express where they come from. They have to make their stuff clear before they can pursue, which is totally understandable too, right? I feel like the reason why this person is maintaining, this person is protecting, and not taking the knowledge right away and running with it, is because they know what they need to do beforehand, and they're making their boundaries clear. They're standing their ground. They're defending themselves. They're showing who they truly are, especially after a situation had went down. So my question is, right, where does the 8 of Cups, where does the 8 of Swords come in? Why does this energy talk about feeling trapped, not making any moves, not taking any stances? Well, it's because underneath you have the Hierophant, like we talked about before. It's commitment, committing. It's like you being stuck between a rock and a hard place. You're not opposed to commitment, but you're afraid of getting yourself involved in something that will backfire, like it has in with the 10 of Swords. Nothing ever backfires, in my opinion. Everything happens for a reason. I don't want to say that whatever happened with the 10 of Swords, it needed to happen for you. Nah, that's not for me to say. But what I am going to say is this: this sort of information that you got from it, as painful as it is, it can make you so much stronger. Because not only have you survived it, but you know something different than you had did before. You always grow from the situations that were difficult. So, while I would never wish anything bad to happen to anybody, I do wish for everyone that has a situation so difficult happen to them to use it to the best of their ability, and really, embrace their courage, the power, and the immense love for that self. Even though we may be self-deprecating sometimes, recognize the love for yourself here, because you have overcome such a difficult situation, survived it, and ready to move forward, and even entertaining a new love in your life. That's huge. That's huge, and should be commended. It should be recognized. And I feel like it is, but at the same time, it does feel scary. It does feel like, you know, because you don't have enough information, you can't move forward. And that's how I see the Ace of Swords. It's not just feeling stuck for me. It's like, okay, you're seeing all the potential because of everything that you've been through in the past. Like, think about it. The swords are behind your typical Rider-Waite tarot. The swords are behind the person. They're not in front of them. There's a clear walkway. You know, of course, they can never go back. Okay, and if they go back, you know, they're going to find the same stuff, but they're not seeing what's going on in front of them. Thoughts are the dictating factor of that person's entire functions of going ahead and just moving forward and leaving this place. Even though they're bound and they're tied up, they don't realize that there's nothing in front of them. But if they had taken the chance and trusted intuition and not relied solely on their thought processes and on their mind, they'd be able to move forward. And this is the situation here. The past, the pains in the past are encouraging you to think solely on what you need to do rather than to feel what you should do. Not trusting your intuition, none of that. Because you're learning a new behavior too. This is a totally new behavior. And it's weird, right? Because you guys are very practical. You guys like to make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do. You're doing it right. You guys are very, very good at sticking to routine and structure. But there's a new structure that's coming in now because the old one doesn't work. The old one is shown it doesn't work. Now it's all about trusting your intuition and being more reliant on faith, and it's hard to do. Especially when you have put your heart into something, which was already something that was faith oriented, and it was hurt. You know, you felt betrayed. You felt backstabbed. But that wasn't trusting your intuition. It was being in love. Now it's about trusting your intuition in love situations. Because there is no right or wrong way to do anything. You know? And it's important to understand that there is never going to be like, you know, that situation again. You know, especially if you make your boundaries clear. Especially like this person here. How the other person is showing up here with the Five of Pentacles, that shows me that this person feels like there's something that's lacking. This person feels like they're struggling. Like they want to get to a place of stability, but they're struggling to get there. They don't feel like they have enough information. They feel like there's something that's lacking in their lives. I'm actually going to pull them a Five of Pentacles. I'm going to pull them an additional card to see why they have the Five of Pentacles here. Why does this person have the Five of Pentacles? Why does this person have the Five of Pentacles? Why does this person have the Five of Pentacles? Why does this person have the Five of Pentacles? Oh, because of the World. Yeah. They feel like even though they've completed a cycle, they don't feel like they've left it with having enough information. They don't realize that they completed that cycle, or there's a situation that needs to be completed here for themselves emotionally before they can move forward. Now, Pentacles has nothing to do with emotions. It's all practical, like I said. But I feel like this person, even though they've completed something, they just feel like they're going into something completely unprepared. You know, this person feels like they're coming into it completely unprepared. But they do have everything. This is even though the world talks about it, you know, it can talk about success and happiness and all that. And I feel like this relationship definitely did excel, but, you know, in a really good way. But I feel like there's still something lacking. And it just has to do with whatever happened before. Why is the World the Five of Pentacles? Why is the World clarifying the Five of Pentacles? Why is the World clarifying the Five of Pentacles? The King of Pentacles. Yeah, they don't... Okay, this person may be thinking about money. This person may be thinking solely on having the financial stability and, you know, in feeling provided for. I think the situation has a lot to do with money. Because how this person's seeing themselves is the King of Coins, or the other person is the King of Coins, right? They feel like the situation, I mean, it could end up that this person like feels like they connected with somebody, but there's something missing emotionally. Excuse me. So emotionally, something's lacking in the relationship because they have somebody already there to commit to them, which is great. It's not enough. It's not enough. But I don't think they're not going to work on it. I think that the Five of Pentacles to me is always like, you know what you don't have, you know what you're lacking, and you go after what you need to do to balance those things out, to get what you need, to get what you are lacking. That's what I feel. But it's like, even though you guys have overcome a great deal of something, right? Completed the cycle, may have been really difficult. You guys came out on the other side a lot more connected, well, a lot more like diligent or dedicated. There we go. Dedicated, a lot more, committed. But it's a struggle to learn new things. At the same time, it is a struggle to, integrate more of something into a relationship. But it's the best time to do it because it's just starting to get, starting to grow. That's what this relationship is doing. It's starting to grow. Now, the reason why this person is displaying the Five of Pentacles in the Four of Wands is because of the Two of Pentacles. There was a decision that they had to make here. Now, it could have been that they were juggling some things and they're, still weighing the pros and cons, but they were possibly even distracting themselves with, with doing other things because I think for some of them, they've kind of felt like the situation would just pass. This thing would just kind of go away after a while if they just kind of just handled some other stuff and ignored it. But they're realizing right now the situation is still at the Four of Wands. They want to expand, I feel like. They want to get to the Four of Wands or they want to expand, but they're struggling to get there. They're struggling to get there. And it has to do with because they were ignoring a situation for a long time. They weren't addressing the situation head on. Okay? And now that they have, now that they are, and they're recognizing a lot of things that are lacking in the relationship that do need to be implemented. That do need to be put into this relationship. And it will take time and work. But I feel like this person's committed. This person is ready to do it. This person is solid in themselves to be able to overcome the struggle that they have with this relationship, which is a lot of things that are lacking, and be able to be successful. And the other person who's showing up with the King of Cups, that's the reason why they're showing up with the Seven of Cups and the King of Cups. Again, this person has got the same situation here, except I don't think they were ignoring anything. I think the reason why they're defensive defensive of themselves and wanting to pursue the relationship the best that they can is because they are in love. They have love. They have emotions that are like bottled up because of everything that they've been through at the same time. I think this person has been avoiding how they felt. So this person was distracting how they felt too by, doing other things and just keeping themselves preoccupied. This person was not addressing how they truly felt, which is why this person may be defensive. And this is why this person really wants to reconnect again. They want to go back to how things used to be. But they can't embrace how they truly feel. So they can't never go back anyway. They have to create something new in the moment with the feelings that they have presently. Right? The new feelings that they're presently, but they have to get rid of the blockage, that they get rid of what's keeping them from, flowing through. The King of Cups is someone that's super emotional, super sensitive, not super delicate, but he knows how he feels at all times. He knows what he wants. This person doesn't always know what they wanted, but it's about has he allowed himself to embrace every emotion that comes through, express how he feels, communicate how he feels, allow himself to really feel the emotion, feel what he's gone through, and then be able to move forward. And I want to say he because there's a king here. It could be a female, it could be anybody. But the challenge is the Seven of Swords. The challenge is not addressing something head on. The challenge is not taking a leap of faith, not taking a risk. And it's because nobody knows how it's going to go. Everybody realizes that's a huge risk, especially after something that they've gone through. But the whole world is full of risks, especially this relationship. And it's like, is everybody in a good place? Is everybody in a place emotionally where they can handle it? And if not, why not? How can they get there? Right? Mostly. How can they get there versus why not? But why not helps to figure out the solution to get you there. And I feel like there was a lot of avoidance too, because everybody just got done from they just got out of a situation where it was so difficult. The avoidance may have been there because nobody really wanted to argue. No one wanted to fight. They just wanted to rest. They wanted to take a moment to just take a beat. But it didn't help the situation get any better, which is why the Eight of Swords is like nobody knows how to talk to each other, nobody knows how to communicate with one another. Everybody just has their own issues, their own things that they need to communicate with each other to work together or to work in this relationship, but they don't know how to start. It doesn't mean you don't, it just means they don't know how to start. I feel like someone just has to say something. Just has to communicate. What are you feeling right now? What needs to be fixed for you? Why are you so defensive? And not in the sense of like, coming from a defensive place when asking, but being open to it. The emotional aspects here is needing to be open. Seven of Swords, even though it's sneaky, it's open to me. To me, it's open. But it can also have the option to be closed. It all depends on how you read the card. But I feel like you have the potential to be open with this. You have the potential to be open with the Seven of Swords. You have the potential to be open with the Ten of Swords. You have the potential to be open with the Four of Pentacles. Right? It's even the Four of Pentacles is the whole meaning of that card is about embracing and opening your door to other opportunities. Being fearless and doing something that's a little scary. Wow. But everybody, I feel like I said, everybody here is trying to work on it. Everybody here is trying to work on it. But somebody has got to just be out with it. Communicate. Because you do have emotional feelings for each other. It's like, it just has to come back to that emotional place, to communicate how you guys are truly feeling. Wow, you guys have Aura Light, and I don't think I've really seen this card very much. Wow, you guys are pulling some new cards here. Let's see what Aura Light has to say. It's 24. The Soul Connector. That's what the Aura Light is. Aura Light 23. Okay. So, Aura Light 23 has a sedative effect on the mind, stilling it so that profound healing and conscious creation with your soul, the universal mind, and higher dimensions occur. That makes sense because, like literally, it sedates the mind, guys. It says it. It's a sedative effect. Overthinking, overprocessing, too much going on. All right, let's see what the self-understanding is telling us here. You are a multi-layered soul on a course of accelerated spiritual growth. Yeah, man. This will push you forward. It's hard right now. The reason why it's so intense is because your spiritual growth is going to be intense. I have a feeling it's going to skyrocket after this, and it's because this is so intense. This is so difficult. But anything that's difficult has a really good reward, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. It's got so many things that it comes with it. But the reason why it's so intense right now is because it's huge. What you're going to get back from what you're doing here, from what you're working on, and what you're trying to overcome, what you're healing from. You came to Earth to share your knowledge. You have an ability to move between different dimensions, to anchor new vibrations into the Earth plane. The slowness and seeming impossibility of this task have brought disillusionment and discontent. That's where the Eight of Swords is coming up. Right? The situation looks so hard right now, so difficult. And it feels like you're stuck, to be honest with you. Like, that's why you feel stuck at the Eight of Swords. Like, you don't know what to do. You don't know how to move forward. You don't know how to start talking. You don't know how to start doing anything with this person. You're willing to do it. You're committed to it, but it's hard and you don't know what to do. You're stuck in literally like quicksand, it feels like. You're sinking, but you're still in it. You know what I mean? You're still determined to get the hell out, and it's hard. But it's because I think it's just because of the limited space of creativity that you have put yourself in here with the Eight of Swords. All right? Just improv. Do what you feel at the moment. Start by going and doing what you want to do in the moment here. Raise your own consciousness and follow, and others will follow. Raise your consciousness of others will follow. That's the last sentence. But here's the divination message, okay? Recognize that you are an integral part of humanity. Center yourself in an inner peace and connect to your higher mind before making a decision. Beneficial contacts come through friends and family. It's not so much that you know as them, as you know as whom that counts now. Well, that's an interesting way of phrasing the sentence. Anyway, I'm going to just read it over, guys. Beneficial contacts come through friends and family. It is not so much that you know as whom that counts now, and that includes higher beings. All right, I'm gonna read the healing insight because you guys' situation is a little deep. Aligning to as above, so below, as without, so within, leads to a sense of rightness and immense well-being. Okay. So your chakras, where it taps into and what it affects, soul star in the stellar gateway, cleanses and aligns all chakras. And this is Aquarian stuff here, so the timing, that's what it says. But the soul path says reconnection of ego, soul, and higher consciousness. So don't get stuck in the rut of what's happening in front of you. Aspire to more, which has to do with connecting with how you feel.